My name is Mike Brennan. I am the founder and CEO of Preorders, and we are making electric vehicles among other tech. And our vehicles are expected to come out in 2028.
Diversified game. Learn how to start, run, and sustain your business.
Hey, it's Kellen, and today on Diversified Game, we are going to talk to Mike about his EV company that he's building. We're going to find out, did Elon give him a whole bag to create this, or was it Bezos? We've had other guests talk about the technology that's coming. So this is going to be in the tech space. If you're looking in the playlist, wanted to share it with somebody. Mike, welcome to Diversified Game. How you doing today?
Well, man, it's great to meet you, and thanks for having me on the show. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Let's start off because people are going to see this and say, okay, what type of billionaire is this? Did he use daddy's money, mommy's money? I read the bio. Give us, how did we get here? And, who gifted you money, or how did you dig gold or strike gold?
Yeah, that's a good question. I have no gold, and I do not have a pool like you. So you're already ahead of me in the game. I'm actually homeless. I live in my car. I'm an entrepreneur. I quit my job and I doubled down on technology that I believe was going to change the world.
Okay. Now people will say, because homeless now, many people, van life, camper life, living in cars just because you want to be a nomad. Can you talk about that situation and how do you run a business? I love that because you can't give up. It takes one deal to take you to, and business can go like this. So everybody who thinks they're on top of the world, just be prepared for life. But, give us what does that mean to you, homeless and living in the car? Because it could be a Bentley you're living in. I think Steve Harvey said this, how he grows rubs.
I am looking for a used Bentley if you have one for sale. No, that's actually my car. I don't know if you can see it back in the corner. That's me. So yeah, I live in a Mitsubishi Outlander, a 2013. I got my cooler in there and a sleeping space, and my feet fit between the driver's side or the driver's seat and the passenger seat. The little spot for your arm and the lift up nook. My feet fit perfectly right in between there because I'm over 6 feet tall. So I need that space. But no, I'm at pretty much $0 every day. I eat from the church. The church gives me peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I make a little bit of money when I can doing certain odd end jobs just to make sure that I can keep going. Honestly, there's no other money. There's no trust fund. There's nobody helping me. It's all on my own. And, I'm happy to share a screenshot of my bank account when we're done this interview, and, you can post it up there for people to actually see it.
No. Even if you had $1 billion, that's nobody's business, but yours. And so you have a beautiful website, and the vision. Can you let people know? And I want if you could speak to the people who, right today that we're talking. The federal government could shut down, and a lot of things, not just for the people who won't get checks or have jobs because they will be not furloughed but fired. How mentally, how physically do you have this vision, and how are you building on it? And just give us kind of that day to day, because somebody needs to be inspired right now. These are times where you could get it like this, or you could lose it like that.
Yeah, it's a dog eat dog world out there, as you know, as a lot of your viewers know. Um, so what I did is, like I said, I put a few things in storage. I'm late on my payment in storage. I actually went there yesterday and I apologized to the lady at the desk. I was like, look, I'm sorry. I'm not here to give you money, but I just want to say I'm sorry. I'm gonna get you some money. I promise I'll have it one day, but just if you cannot burn my stuff in the parking lot yet, I appreciate it. Um, what I do for myself is I was working full time for the past I don't know 18 months, project manager, and my daily commute was an hour long. So I was like, I'm bored. Let me just try to think of some ways to help people. Right, that was my ultimate goal. How can I help somebody? And I was driving down the road, and some truck in front of me spewed, that black soot smoke out of when it hit the gas, and it's you're breathing it in, you're like start choking. I'm like, man, it would be awesome if we could filter that through my car, his or her black soot smoke. And I was like, oh wait, why not? So I started thinking about it. So I'm like, well, what if we put a filter on every car on this road? And I was like, man, that would be awesome, because all of a sudden we're filtering out things on this road. And then I thought, well, wait a second, what if we do it in the world? Why can't we filter everything every time we get in the car and we're moving, or when we're sitting still, we're filtering the air, taking out chemicals, pollutants, and begin to reverse climate change that way. So it's like your HVAC system. I mean, I know you're in Florida, so you have to have air conditioning. So you know how you change your filter? It's the same way, except we're changing it in our cars, if that makes sense. So you're driving down the road, you're taking pollutants out of the air, you take that filter out, give it back to us. We take care of that carbon that you took out of the air, and then we give you a new filter, and bam, next time you drive, you're filtering the air again. It's not like you're changing it every day. I mean, this could be once a month, once a year, however often you drive, and where you live depends on how often these filters need.
Are you a successful entrepreneur or one in training? You've got the vision, but do you have the right partner to build your brand, your team, and your future online and off? At CPRfirm.com, we offer expert consulting, financial guidance, and life coaching because we believe in doing life with our clients. After all, what is it for a man to gain the world and lose his soul? Founded by �𝐾𝐭, we help our clients not only succeed, but plan to retire rich. Your business deserves the best. Start building your legacy today at CPRfirm.com.
But the is that, so that's the idea. First idea was the filter, and then it developed into a whole car idea, or in
Yes. So I have 14 patents. Probably your next question. Like, how are you protecting this idea, right? So I filed 14 patents. So those are there. Those are protecting me. I developed a way, because not everyone can afford a new car, right? So I developed a patent for technology where my filters will go on your luggage rack or your roof rack. You know, those roof racks that like 𝐼𝐿𝐼 or Tool builds for your luggage or whatever, you're putting your skis or whatever. I just made that, but it's only like 4 to 6 inches tall. So when you're driving down the road, the air is coming through it, taking out all those pollutants, and you're starting to reverse climate change. You're in your little world a little bit at a time, but it adds up when you talk about how many billions of cars are on the road around the world.
okay, and patents are not cheap. So I mean, again, some people say, again, how do you go from homeless to even thinking about a business? Because most people, if they can't pay for their Netflix or their cell phone bill, are about to have a fit. And one patent can just, again, one deal. Have you talked to any VC vultures, venture capitalists, about your ideas? Have you done any pitch competitions, maybe during a startup week, for your business?
So let me answer your first question. So I filed provisional patents. You know about how those work?
Yeah, yeah. But tell the audience, because we want to teach. So we want them to know, like,
Yeah, absolutely. So actually, it's funny. I ran, my son plays flag football, right? So I ran into a mom at the flag football game. I just started talking to her, and then we started talking about like inventions. She's like, "Oh, I got this really cool invention." I was like, "Oh, well, go ahead and get a patent on it, so you're protected until you finally develop it." She's like, well, that costs like 10, 20, $30,000. I'm like, no, you got to file the provisional patent, right? That's $130. So, I mean, once you hit a certain number, you got to pay more, but it's not even that much more. So, when I filed my patents, I was still have my full-time job. So I was still able to do that, to file those and protect myself and my inventions. But with a provisional patent, you have 12 months. All right. So make sure the audience knows that's not a forever situation. That's like putting your flag in the ground and saying, hey, this is when I thought of this idea. And as long as no one had it before you, then you're good to go. But you still need to file the full patent within those 12 months. Okay. Then you got to get into international patents. That's where the real money is. You got to have a lot of money to file international patents. So it's kind of like a step game, right? Start here, get up to the next step, then you're trying to get to the next step. I'm still down here, but I'm trying to get up to there. And then you had another question, and I totally forgot.
Hello everyone. Come along with London and Sydney as they show you around the vibrant country of Cameroon. You explore the heart of Africa through the eyes of London and Sydney. Two explorers who journey across the great city of Yaoundé, exploring its rich culture, vibrant market squares, cultural heritage, and wildlife. With giggles and excitement, London and Sydney Explore Cameroon takes you on a fun-filled adventure, providing insight into the country's culture and traditions through the pages of this book. It's packed with exciting stories and super cool facts about Cameroon that will make you go, wow. Get your copy now. Available on Amazon and in libraries near you. There's only one easy way to experience the exploration of Cameroon, and it's through London and Sydney. Don't wait, get yours.
Oh, well, how you got your patents in the VCs, the vultures. Have you talked to them? The startup week, because startup week happens across this country, and I'm in awe to know like the amounts of money that people can get, but most people don't know where to find it or even to get in line. So I just want to know, have you talked to any VC or done a startup week or pitch competitions yet?
I refuse. Yeah, I don't want to take anyone's money because, in my personal opinion, when I take someone's money, then I owe them something or I'm beholden to them, right? Then that person can call me at 3 a.m. and be like, I don't like what you're doing, Mike. You got to change that. And that's my money you got. I don't need that. I know what I'm doing. I know my vision, and my vision may not be their vision. So they're going to be, if I do take money, it might be a bank loan because the bank only cares about getting their money back. They don't care how I get it back with them, right? So I feel that that's different. But when you talk about VCs, I've had friends go into business with people, and then all of a sudden they would wake up one day, the venture capitalist wakes up one day and says, hey, either I want my money back or I want to change the direction of this company. And then all of a sudden, 2 months later, they don't have a job anymore because the venture capitalist wrote in the terms that they could take over the company. Well, whatever, you know how it goes. So I'm refusing at this point to get into that game at all.
I get that because I've refused money from VCs myself, and the audience knows Florida Funders. We're a very small member to make sure that people know in tech in Florida, if you need money, it's here. But I get it because I've said that for other businesses of ours. But there are the startup weeks or the pitch competitions where I've seen people, my wife has won, and maybe they give you like some AWS credits, like, nothing too big. But I've seen some people who have gotten $5,000, $10,000 checks. And I'm just like, we want to get up to that. We want to get up to that. And it's not for everybody, but would you be willing to pitch, especially during startup week? I know in Pennsylvania, you guys got to have one because I just know it being such a big place. Is that something that would interest you? Because you are taking money if people want to put their down payment down for the cars. And that, and I love what you're saying. Like, hey, I don't want to be beholden. I don't want you calling me while I'm trying to sleep or enjoy myself. Hey, you can't eat Cheerios anymore, Mike. You gotta eat. Look, I get it. I get it. And let me tell you, when you said that, I have a friend. He's big. He's in Cameroon. He's big into that. He told me I should say yes to VC because let them own you so you can own someone else. And I'm like, I don't want to own anybody. I don't want to own your dream. I want to work with you. That's what we do as consultants and PR people. But I don't want to own your idea. It's your idea. Do what you want. So
Exactly.
have you looked into, and if not, I'm going to send you a list if you want of startup weeks in your area if you're open to, pitching and saying this is what we want to do.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Yeah, I'm open to ideas, of course. I'm going to follow up as I need to. But at this point, it's the vision that I have is so gigantic that I'm having trouble I guess maybe not focusing, but taking it in steps, but maybe what you're talking about would be a helpful solution to that, kind of being able to help you focus.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, we got to look into that. Kat, this is a Kat, the publicist. You guys know I love Kat. She always has the most interesting clients, and I always tell people she is so disliked in the PR world sometimes. The journalists love her. PR people, so they've been so jealous of her, but it's just shout out to her. You guys,
Yeah, she was about.
yeah, yeah, a publicist who love publicists. That's what we do.
Yeah.
But so you have this vision. Outside of the mock-ups that they can see on the website, how do you go about the design and to know that this will work? Have you been able to test it? Are you maybe you're gifted in the sciences, or you're an engineer as well? Like how do you know it will work?
I'm not an engineer. I'm not a doctor. I'm not anything. I'm a nobody, honestly. I think I can just come up with some good ideas, and I know in my brain how to come at it from different perspectives. I think I've always been good at that. So really, that's just how I operate. The technology is simple. So, I have the ways to make it work, and I've had friends that I've told this idea to, and they're like, "Well, I don't get it. How do you do this?" And I have the answers. Um, so yeah, I'm not worried about that part of it, to be quite honest with you. Let me tell you, for example, one thing that I have a patent on that may interest you. For my vehicles, each one is going to come with an embedded coffee maker. So you can actually brew your coffee on the road, and it's not just coffee. It's going to be tea, hot chocolate for the kids, or for yourself. I'm also developing a separate company, a sister company, that is going to be a health drinks. So those are actually going to be able to go into the coffee machine, and there'll be a cold water. So it's a cold drink that you can brew on the road, like a health drink, right? So like Celsius or kind of along that line of brands. And that company is going to be disruptive as well to the drink industry because of the niche that I created for it and the way that you're going to get your drink. So I can't go into more detail on that one, but I think you can start to see how my brain operates a little bit. Like, hey, how can we do this? How can we do that? Like, hey, I want a fresh cup of coffee, but sometimes I'm running late. I got to get to work, or I got to get some kids to the football game or whatever. I got to bring my coffee with me. So bam, I'm in the car. I'm making it while I'm driving, which I think is going to be great.
So then the cars will have the FSD, like the Tesla, the full self-driving. Will that be added to it?
Yeah, so we want to put level 2 in every car, and that's our goal. I love that. I've driven a Tesla Cybertruck, and quite honestly, it's probably the best vehicle I've ever driven. I mean, that thing's like a rocket ship. It pins you back in your seat when you hit that gas pedal, and that is fun. I mean, just be careful where you do it. All right, just make sure no one's around, no gear and nothing. But yeah, so level 2 for sure, for sure.
Oh, okay. I mean, you got to drive it. I have not driven that because on Turo, I look at the prices and say the prices need to come down. Can I just get it, for 2 hours, for 3 hours? But
Probably can. You probably can. Yeah, I drove one of a guy I was looking to do business with. He happened to just buy one a week before, and I'm like, you have to let me drive this, man. He's like, all right, let's go. And we did. It was up in Maine. It was awesome. I recommend it to everybody. Yeah. But did you happen to see my prices?
yeah,
Anything you want to say?
about the prices.
Uh-huh.
No, you tell us, because I know like there's only a certain limited amount for that price. So you tell it out. I don't want to tell anything that's incorrect, but because they'll say Kelly, stop the cap, but let them know what the prices are. And you guys look in the description, you'll see the beautiful website I'm talking about. But let them know about the prices.
Yeah, for sure. So I got a lot of questions recently about the government rebate and the $7,500 rebate that's disappearing in what, tomorrow or 2 days? 30 days.
And no, by the end of the year, it'll be gone, and so will the solar for your roofs and all that.
No, I think the vehicle credit's gone tomorrow. So this is good timing. This is good timing for us. So what I did, everyone's freaking about the $7,500, and I had another journalist ask me like, "Oh my gosh, like, are you freaking out?" I'm like, I didn't even know. Like, I'm not even paying attention. Honestly, I'm too busy working all day. And she's like, "Well, it's going away," and I'm like, "Oh, perfect." She goes, "Well, what do you mean perfect?" I was like, "My cars are priced at $7,500. That's the full price of my vehicles. So people are worrying about $7,500 off a $80,000 Tesla Cybertruck, but my prices are $7,500 full." So I'm just like laughing at her. I'm like, "Yeah, I don't pay attention. I don't care. I'm pricing my vehicles where I want to price them so that people can drive them, so that people can help start cleaning the earth, reversing climate change, because at the end of the day, that's my goal." I created a separate company called the Trillion Tree Project. I don't deal in nonprofits. I am not a nonprofit company. I am a for-profit company, but I am a company that puts a planet before the profits. So if at the end of the day, they're ready to bury me in the ground and I made, $100,000, so be it, as long as it's helping other people. And honestly, that's where I'm at.
$7,000 reminds me when Kia first came out. I don't know if you're old enough to remember 1994.
What about Daewoo? Remember Daewoo?
Yeah. I, but but it's like when the Kia came out, people said so much. But I remember reading the newspaper, and yes, kids, there's a thing called the newspaper, and it was like buy one get one free, and I'll never forget that ad. And I think, why don't they make more cars affordable? I know other car companies have tried. Sometimes I think the government doesn't want us to have affordable cars or even clean cars. Do you worry about, one, the government with all the, rigmarole and things you have to deal with just to get this on the road legally, and then when you do put it out, them saying, "Hey, we'll buy you out so you can go away because you're gonna try to mess up our cartel," how we do things. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, for sure. So first off, my first job at 11 years old was delivering newspapers. I mean, I literally had on my 10 speed, I had the shoulder thing with the bag on the side.
I was there with
Oh man, that was the best ever. So to answer your question, and just remind me if I forget, 'cause sometimes my brain just travels wrong. I am not worried about the government. And the reason I say that, and I don't say it lightly, is that this is a global mission. So if the United States government comes to me and says, "Mike, blah, 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 screw you, get out of here, we don't like what you're doing, I'll go somewhere else." It's as simple as that. There are plenty of countries that will want this technology, that will encourage it, and will adopt it heavily. So I'm not really worried about it. And I think the people have the voice at the end of the day. And if they say, "Hey, we want like $7,500 vehicle, and it's the best vehicle we've ever seen, and you better have it ready for us, or you better allow him to sell it to us," then I think that'll be the voice that needs to happen.
Okay. And what about, buying you out to make you go away? Because we've seen so many companies, and again, they take over. You're so right. I've interviewed people. 𝐃𝐿 Headphones owner Mary Spear. She's like, they took my last company when I let them in because I took their money. Saying, this is on interviews, you guys. You can look this stuff up and hear her words. But do you worry about, that big check? And is there a big enough check to make you say, "You know what? I'll give you my baby and you guys own it"?
No, there's no check big enough.
Okay.
I won't be selling to the government, especially. They can buy from me, but I'm not going to be selling my company to them. That's for sure.
Teach the audience, where do you get not having the Gordon Gekko love for money in your DNA, where everything is getting more and more expensive? Apples are too expensive. And I travel extensively with my family every chance we get. And you're like, some of this stuff is like so free. You know, it's under $1 fruit we're talking about. And it's hard now to even get a pineapple you can't get for under $1 now. But go to Cameroon, go to Kenya, 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐿. You know, you'll get this stuff. Go to Colombia, you'll get this stuff for so cheap. Where does this come from? Because that's what I think you need to bottle up too with the car and sell it so people can drink it.
I love it. I'll put it in my coffee maker, you know, help drink machine. You know, we'll make some stuff from that. You know, honestly, I don't have a good answer for that. It's just the way I am. Especially when you live in your vehicle like I do. Like, it's not a joke. Like, I literally woke up this morning, and I'll tell you what happened last night. I was running out of gas. I was on fumes, and I pulled up to the gym because that's where I shower, you know, and I exercise and try to stay mentally on my game as well, which I think is really important for anyone out there listening. Like, keep your body in the good condition so that it's a trickle down effect, right? Get your body moving, you get your muscles moving, bam, also your brain's like, yeah, it's on fire, let's go. I actually do my best work on the treadmill, and that's not a joke. I'll do an hour in a treadmill. Sunday I did 90 minutes because I just kept thinking of ideas. Bam, I'm on my phone, blah, 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 nonstop. And it helps pass the time because I hate the treadmill. So that's important too. So I forget, man, I trailed off. You tell me what question I should be answering.
Oh, no, you were giving us the flow. So the treadmill, and again, people who, you know, I have mostly listeners, but I have some people who they follow, and they even follow my other channel. And I do work on the treadmill too. I have a desk for the treadmill, straps in.
Yeah.
I was there for more than an hour on that treadmill because I get bored. Just, you know, you're doing that. I'm looking at the lady on Peloton, but I want, you know, I want to be able to type and then be able to talk, and I can be on there for an hour or more sometimes, even on the bike, same desk, because working out to me, unless I'm hitting someone like football practice or boxing or something, you know, it's the ADHD in remission that I need to do 2 things at once. So I get it. So when you say that, it helps people like myself and others who are saying, oh, I thought I was the only one, you know, and so it's good to share these stories.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're talking about, you know, the church and getting fed from the church. Can you talk about any community give backs that you're doing or any in the future that you want to do, and let us know if the community can help you with that and how?
Yeah. Wow. That's a great question because I have a really good answer. At least I hope you think it's a good answer. Okay. So here's what I'm doing. You know, the Girl Scout cookies, right? You got Girl Scouts in Florida.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So they sell the Girl Scout cookies, what, a month or 2 a year. My daughter used to be in Girl Scouts, so I used to be at the table with her selling the cookies. So what I did is I came up with an idea. So just to back up just a hair, my ultimate goal started as reversing climate change and saving the planet. And I found out that that's going to take 1 trillion trees to reverse about 80% of the pollution we put into the planet since the Industrial Revolution. And we're losing what? I forget the number, 20 billion trees a year. So we got to, first of all, we got to reverse that number. Then we got to go positive 1 trillion. So this whole plan was the purpose of this company was to start doing that with these filters, taking the pollutants out of the air, right? Planting trees. So for every car that is selling, planting trees. So what I came up with was an idea the other day, and it's going to be this. It's going to be, instead of buying Girl Scout cookies, or not instead of, because I love Girl Scout cookies, but in addition to that, I'm going to sell a subscription service. So you can purchase your coffee from us, your tea, your hot chocolate. Like I said, what's going to go into my cars. And then if you purchase a subscription, it's going to be to plant trees anywhere on earth. And then you're going to get sent coffee once a month, once a quarter, whatever subscription level you sign up for. And then we're going to take that money and we're going to grow it. So say, actually I talked to my kids. I'm a soccer coach for my kids' soccer team. So I talked to the league the other day about doing the pilot system right here in my town. And I'm just like, hey, if we get 500 kids to sell 10 subscriptions. That's it, just 10. Over the course of however many years you want to spread that out, I can give them a free electric vehicle, and especially the timing it's out for when they're ready to start driving or go to college or do whatever. So they were just like, yeah, we need to think about this. And I'm like, okay. They're like, this sounds too good to be true. And then I was like, oh, I get it. Okay, yeah, it does sound too good to be true. But what I've done is I've taken the Tesla model, thank you, Elon, and I found out how he made his money and kept Tesla alive. And then I'm supercharging it. What Elon did, and he's happy to do, he can do whatever he wants. He kept the money for the company, for himself. That's why he's a billionaire, right? So what I'm going to do is I don't care about money. So I'm going to give it back to the people. Meaning I'm going to do what Elon did, grow my money, and then give it back to the kids so that they have a car to drive when they're ready. They can get college tuition assistance. I'm trying to get it where I can actually pay for their full college. And then I have a workforce initiative. So if they don't want to go to college, I'm still going to pay them money to live for like 4 years. And then also, I'm also tying that into community service. So the kids have to sell the subscriptions, however many equals that amount. And then they have to volunteer for 40 hours a year at a local community, nonprofit, whatever. And then there's one other thing. Oh, they gotta graduate high school with the GED or graduate high school. So that's how they can earn free items, free cars, free college tuition through me.
Okay. Everything that you have said is not easy. But when you have a vision that's not easy, I think of Bezos, I think of Elon. I mean, all these people, it's like everyone say, hey, you're mad. But when it comes to fruition, then it's, oh, you're a genius.
Exactly. All my friends think I'm crazy, by the way. So it's fine. I'm used to it, honestly. And you just mentioned something. You're like, hey, it's hard. It's hard. What's hard is when you have an empty stomach and you're trying to feed yourself.
You've tried it your way, but you're still in debt. Or maybe you're doing okay, but want to invest smarter, grow faster. 𝐿ionnairex.ai gives you real step-by-step strategies to ditch debt or stack wealth. Stop dreaming and start planning. Visit 𝐿ionnairex.ai today. I want you to be the next millionaire next door.
Yeah.
That's hard.
It is, but I can remember those times, and I never forget them. No matter what, and that's why I bless every meal. But I also, what's really hard is dying, not even trying. If you were to die and you didn't try to do something, because let them make a Chris Gardner, how Will Smith had the thing and he's sleeping in the bathroom with his child. And it's like, yeah. And now you see him and he's winning. That's the story. But you got to go through the fire to get there. Nobody can bail you out. And this is very personal to me because I have a friend who needed some more money. And I said, man, my parents are passed. My grandmother just passed. We just had to fly, me and my kids. My wife didn't have to go because we just came from California. And I just had to pay some dental bills that were more money than he said, I should be giving you money. I said, yeah, you should. But you want to be able to help everyone. It's just you have to have the means yourself. Especially when people say you're an orphan. I don't see it like that, but okay, my people, I still got the guy who raised me, so I'm happy about that. But when you see your biological parents, so you kind of say, wait, well, I only make it till that age. It can be, it can be interesting thought. So I love like the fight, the push, and that you keep pushing, and that, man, you'll be in the prayers because I want this to win. I want to see you on the big stages where everyone's saying, we knew you'd take it. And them just clapping, that's
Well, what happened to me the other day? I wanted to mention about, the struggle, right? So I was home, I'm homeless, working out of my car, sleeping every night. And then I was at Wegmans. I don't know if you guys have Wegmans down there. It's a food chain, grocery store. And I was there working, doing my stuff on my computer, and also my computer died. And I know I have my battery's pretty much dead. It's like almost worthless at this point because the battery has been through so many cycles. Like driving an EV, like eventually your battery's just gonna go, right? So all of a sudden my computer died in the middle of a sentence, and I'm like, what happened? It's plugged in. The power cord broke.
Wow.
So I had no juice. I couldn't get electricity to the computer. I couldn't power it on. All of a sudden I was like, oh my God, I'm shut down. Like this is freaking me out. And this is like September 9th or 10th. And I was like, okay, you know, you put an obstacle in front of me, I'm going to get around it. So now I go to the library, and now I start working out of the library. Bam, every day I'm there when it opens until it closes. I get a guest pass, so I don't have to get a library card because I just don't want to take the time to do it. And, you know, and I sit on the library computer all day, and I sit there and I do my work. I log into Google from there, and I can do all my work on there because everything's internet based now, which is the key. Before, 5 years ago, it was all like software based, right? Now it's all internet based. So you can log into your programs and use them, which I love. And then just the other day, I was able to make enough money to buy Amazon power cord. It wasn't for my computer. It's not the right size, but it's enough to get it some juice so I can work now again. It was like $8. And I ordered it to one of those Amazon lockers because I don't have a home. So, you know, it's just things that you got to figure out. And, you know, you might take a minute to feel bad about yourself or about your situation, but just take a minute, get it out in your system, and then bam, let's just get going again.
What do you think about, and again, it's such a personal thing because my friend too is living in his car and doing Uber, renting the car to do Uber in LA,
there.
you know, and that's where he's from. But what do you think about, because I asked him, I said, would you go back to your wife? And he said, the way she made me feel, and she left. He didn't, you know, he's like, I'm better here than being torn down. And very few people, very few podcasts even talk about how women can break you down to where it's like, we don't want anyone jumping off ledges, but he's like, I'm better here mentally. Even though I miss my kids, but I see them every day still, you know, as much. But or do you have more joy, do you think, right here than selling out, doing something, you know, who knows, the cannabis store, the strip club, the bank, whomever, right? Says, hey, we'll give you this and we'll give you that. Do you think you have more peace now? Because sometimes you have more peace with less. When you have a lot of stuff, it can be just stuff. It's just, you know, it's just stuff. So can you talk about your mental health in this and any tips for people? Because too many people are going through this and not enough people are talking about it.
Well, I think if you correct me if I'm wrong, someone back in the 90s said, "Mo money, mo problems," right? You know, sometimes that's what it needs, right? Is like, hey, you got all these things, you got all this stuff, you got all this things going on in your life, and it's just like, you just can't concentrate. You don't have time to think like we think, right? So this almost, you're right. It almost kind of gave me that time. Like I said, I was in an hour one way commuting, and that gave me the time. And I was like, okay, well, what am I going to do with this time? I feel like I'm literally wasting my life in this car commuting because I'm not doing anything with that time. And then people like last night, right? Me and my boys are in a text chain, and I make fun of myself. I'm like, yeah, man, I got to go back to Bill and you know, Jabroni down there, you know, just, hey, we're going to go, you know, make a fire under the bridge. And they're like, dude, that's not funny. I'm like, no, it's funny. Like, you know, I'm not literally doing that, but, you know, it's like, hey, you know, I can laugh at myself. So I think it's important just to remember that, you know, when you're in a situation, you know, just do one little thing at a time, and those little things add up. And all of a sudden your situation improves, even if it's just 1%, like your buddy, right? I feel the same way. Mentally, emotionally, I'm way better than I was. Way better. I see my kids almost every day. I tell them the truth. I tell them it's temporary. I'm going to get there. I just need a little bit of more time. And they understand, which is, you know, half the battle right there. So, again, to your point, I don't have friends or family supporting me. In fact, I had a family member see me recently face to face, told them what was going on. They went out and they got food, brought it back and ate it in front of me. And I was just like, whoo, ouch, that one stung. I'm not going to lie. That one stung. They couldn't bring me a donut from Dunkin' Donuts. They couldn't bring me a $2 egg sandwich. And I didn't say a word. And I was just like, all right, that was their choice. That's their journey. I'm on my journey. And, you know, they don't believe in what I'm doing. So they think that I'm just lazy. I'm like, you don't get it. Lazy is the furthest thing that I am. I work from the second I get up to the second I go to sleep. And that's not even a joke. I woke up this morning and immediately my brain started clicking in and I had a genius idea and I was off to the races within 10 seconds of opening my eyes. So
Yeah, no, that's whoo, you got me thinking. And why you got me thinking, are you with the cars or even with, you know, just the work, are you using AI? How is that impacting your work and, you know, helping you, or is it something that, you know, you think will hurt because everybody is in a different space with AI?
well, I mean, I think it depends on the usage, right? AI saved me. That's what I use. I use ChatGPT as if it's a coworker, and then it's someone to bounce ideas off of. So, and I always make fun of, you know, the AI. I'm like, why can't you come up with these ideas? Why do I got to come up with all the ideas? You know, AI just expands on them or helps me uh, think of maybe some different ways of thinking. Or sometimes it just comes up with one idea. I'm like, oh, that is genius. Now I can take that AI idea and then I can expand on that idea. And then bam, I'm off to the races. So, but yeah, for me, it's like having the best coworker ever because my AI, it calls me brilliant every time I come up with an idea. And I'm like, oh, listen, I know that one's not brilliant, but thank you for telling me anyway. So it kind of gives me a little bit of a pep in my step. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. You know, it's interesting. By 2028, it may be able to come up with the ideas. Is the prediction by some, and then I guess we'll have ASI, the artificial super intelligence. It doesn't scare me. I've seen the movies. I'm very nice to my AI. Please and thank you. And unlike 𝐾𝐨𝐧'𝐭 and others that I've seen online, I'm not going to be kicking my robot if I, you know, when I get it. I'm not going.
Don't kick it. Don't kick it. Just in case that one day it becomes self-involved, right?
Yeah, yeah. My kids say you're hating. I say no. He's not old enough. He hasn't seen the movies that we saw in the 80s and 90s. And
Yeah.
you're mean.
I robot. Yeah.
So no, this is a great conversation. I will tell you, I don't know what part of Pennsylvania you're in. I'm gonna send to your email about the Philly Tech Week, about
Yeah, and that's how I called up. Yeah.
know about all of them. Okay. The Wharton Startup Summit. Okay, so you got them all. Let me tell the audience. Philadelphia Regional, you guys use AI to find out what the startup week is in your area, because I can't do it for everybody for free 99. That would be a service. That have to have the team, you know, help with all that and the agents and all that. But let the people know where they can find you. If on the website, if they, you know, put the payment down, sometimes people get worried, kind of even with Elon, you know, people put it down for the truck and then they said this thing is more expensive than we thought. So we just wasted $100. Oh yeah, let them know the next steps before we go.
Yeah. So the next steps for purchasing the cars, you mean, or
Correct.
yeah. So I'm offering down payments of $75. I went with the $7,500 government rebate disappearing theme. So for $75, you can secure your vehicle through my company, and then it'll come off of the final amount due. So $7,500 minus 75 is your final payment due when we deliver your car. So you got time till 2028. And then we're going to deliver one badass car. And not just one, we have 6 in the lineup and we're doing fleet services. So we're going to be selling disruptive prices, not only in the vehicles for consumers, but also for fleets like Amazon, FedEx, UPS, all the delivery vans that you see out there. I've actually revolutionized those. And I figured out a way to solve homelessness. We can get into that another time. I developed a new way to build homes and retrofit them. So I'm excited to talk to you about all these things down the road.
Definitely. Because if you go to any of the Chinese websites, I have WeChat and again, travels, but I haven't been to China yet. I'd like to go next month or in April for the Canton Fair. But you can get a container home for less than $1,000. It doesn't make sense that we can't house people. And I've sat in meetings even in Seattle with, big politicians and 10, 12 other people who are more senior than me. And it's like, why can't we just build? Why can't we put stuff here? And it's all like George Carlin, one of my favorite comedians, said, man, we get the government we deserve, I guess. But these people not care about us at all. On either side of the party, there's not one that I met globally that I really love. Some I can kind of stand, but and I've worked with them, but it's a shame because to get the container home, even from China for under $1,000 to ship it here, especially now, it's more than $12,000, which is just, big people playing big games that don't benefit the people. And it's a shame.
Well, I'm on it. I'm on it. And by the way, I think I figured out a way to help protect our children in schools as well from mass shootings, all those kinds of things as well. So I'm working on that tech as well.
Okay, so he's going for sainthood, people. So you guys.
Oh, wait. I should mention one thing. Now you're going to think I'm crazy. I also have a patent on a cancer detection machine as well that I made in my kitchen before I was homeless. It was one of the last things I did. And by the way, I don't know computers. So I hired a teenager. He told me he was 23. He looked 13 from Florida to Zoom me. And I went out, I bought all the equipment and I put it together with him telling me where to put like every little pin and what do they call it? A bread stick or breadcrumb or whatever. Like, it was crazy.
You're crazy. I don't think you're crazy. I think that, you can get ideas that most people will ignore. And it takes the builders to say, I'm going to be crazy enough to put my foot out. But I tell you, my wife I know I have a good idea. She's like, that's crazy. She's like, that's crazy. And then I say, no, let me show you. And even clients, they'll say, no, computers can't do that. I say, yes, we've built it already, and it's not cheap, not going to be cheap for you because of the time it took and because what you just said. But we got people to feed and people got to eat. So yeah, I don't think it's crazy. You write the vision down, you make it plain, and that's scripture. That's not me, people. So, don't think I have all the good one-liners. But no, I appreciate you guys. Look in the description. I know most of you are drivers. Put a face with a name. Go over to the YouTube. And so when you see Michael, you're like, oh, you're the guy. And there's somebody out there listening that can add on to the value, even if it's an encouraging word. You don't know what people are going through, especially parents. My gosh, what we got to deal with, and kids telling us what we don't know, like we just got here. Michaels, thank you for the game. You guys have been blessed. Like, comment, but most importantly, share this with somebody. It will change their life. Be blessed, y'all.
Are you tired of the rat race in America? Are you ready to visit the motherland to relax and rejuvenate? Are you ready to explore all that Africa has to offer? Then check out the brand new Diversified Game Academy course, Prepare for My First Trip to Africa. Are you worried about being able to afford the trip? We got you. We will show you how to travel either on a budget or as a baller. Learn how to stretch the value of the USD. Did you know that 100 United States dollars is worth over 1,000 South African rand, or 10,000 Kenyan shillings, or 54,250 West African CFA? Are you worried about taking your kids? Get the game from 𝐾𝐿, a bona fide world traveler, having traveled to almost 20 countries, several of those in Africa. Get the game on taking your kids on their first trips. Learn how to find the best tickets, get the visas, and plan your own adventures in Africa. Don't let Eddie Murphy have all the fun. Plan your own coming to Africa trip starring you, produced by you, and featuring you. If you are ready for a life-changing experience, sign up for our course today, Diversified Game Academy. Get prepared and purchase at diversifiedgame.com.